I'm really glad to be here. This is an issue particularly close to my heart, as I'm sure it is all of you, and the incidents we've been seeing lately have been troubling me greatly. You'll probably guess by my name that my own family, our origins don't exactly begin in the county of Essex or the UK for that matter. And sadly, because of that, I've seen firsthand some of the bigotry we're talking about tonight. I've seen it touch my family, my friends, my parents firsthand. Fortunately, not to the level of some of the tragic circumstances we've witnessed in Harlow recently and around the UK. And it's because of them incidents that this meeting, it couldn't have come at a better time. Hopefully the message that we send from this meeting couldn't have come at a better time. I'd like to thank Stand Up to Racism for organising this, because I don't think there's ever been a more important time to stand up than now. So guys, thank you. Thanks for having this, and thanks for the courage of always having a presence in Harlow in the face of what we are facing. I'm going to change the tact slightly now. What I want to talk to you about tonight is the place that the trade unions have in tackling racism. I'm a trade unionist, I'm a firefighter, and I'm an official of the FBU. And I want to speak to you about the place I believe trade unions and working people as a whole have in tackling racism. Not just in the workplace, however, in their communities, the communities that we serve, the communities that we operate in. I hope you'll agree with me when I say that trade unions do have a long history of tackling discrimination of all forms. We're not perfect. We do get it wrong. I admit that. But we are at the forefront of that battle of tackling racism in the workplace. And hopefully tonight we'll discuss a little bit not only about how we carry that on, but how we step it up. Now, to do that, I was always taught that we need to understand the motives behind these divisive tactics, the true motives behind the politics of hate. And to do that, I want to share a little story with you quickly, and I apologise because most of you may have heard this story, but for those of you that haven't, I think it's particularly apt. It was told to me by a colleague of mine who's now retired, fantastic anti-fascist, anti-racist campaigner and a firefighter. And he always used to drum into me, Riccardo, to educate people, to tackle racism. You need to get them to understand the true motives behind it. And I believe this story does that. And he always used to say to me, you need to get people to imagine that there's a table. And so around that table, you've got three people. So at one end, you've got your politician / banker type. In the middle, you've got your Daily Mail / Sun reader. And around the other side, you've got a migrant. It's now imagine you've got 10 biscuits in the middle of that table. And then all of a sudden, without any questions, without any attempt at democratic discussion whatsoever, the banker / politician elbows out, reaches in, grabs 9 of them 10 biscuits, and he has them for himself. No questions asked, but there he is now. When the other two, they glance at each other, they look at him, and they start to think, hang on a minute, maybe this isn't particularly fair. He turns straight to that Daily Mail Sun reader, and he says, you want to watch yourself, that migrant's trying to steal your biscuit. Bang, his head's turned, away from the real issue, away from the real culprit. Guys, this divisive rhetoric, this attempt to create a subclass. So in this case, migrants, is a tactic we have seen repeated throughout history, and it's done deliberately to distract working people, to make us fight each other, make us fight down rather than fight up. Now, to defeat that, to defeat racism, we absolutely have to put the argument, more importantly, put the facts back into the hands of working people. There is a reason that the Torre want us divided. There is a reason that the UKIPers, the far right, the big businesses do not want unity of working people. And that is because when we are united, we realise how strong we are, and we start to look at the real reasons why there are families in our communities eating out of food banks. The real reasons we can't get a hospital bed or a doctor's appointment. The real reasons we're not building houses or schools, why we can't find safe, secure employment. And I tell you what, we'll find out pretty bloody quickly that it is not Polish bricklayers that are the fault. Yeah. I tell you this, I've got more in common with a Polish bricklayer than I have with anyone sitting in the House of Commons making these decisions, causing our suffering. We have to stand up against this, the true culprits, the people truly responsible. It's not refugees, it's not migrants, it is big corporations putting profit before people, regardless of where them people come from. It is greedy casino bankers, it is the super rich refusing to contribute and pay their proper rate of tax. And it's no coincidence that happens to be the same group of people funding the very political parties and the very newspapers that are spreading this crap, that are scapegoating migrants, laying the blame at the feet of migrants, and bang, just like the biscuit story, our heads are turned. We're not looking at the people truly responsible for our problems. So why are we here tonight? What can we do about it? What do we have to do to tackle this? Now I believe this is where we come in, this is where the trade unions come in, this is where working people come in. I know it seems dark right now, I know it seems bleak, and I know the challenge seems massive, but I am telling you the true, genuine, ideological racists are the minority. And they thrive on misleading and distracting good people. They play on the insecurities and the fears of good people. That's where we come in. We have to challenge that rhetoric every opportunity, every chance we get, in our workplaces, in our pubs, in our sports clubs. And I tell you what, when you take that discussion head on, you'll soon realise it's not that difficult to win that argument. For example, if I hear my guys, my firefighters, my members talking about this, well, first of all, I'll start and I'll remind them, firefighters have a rich tradition of helping anyone, regardless of race, religion, nation or origin. It's what we're about, it's what we do. But then I'll ask them a few simple questions and a pattern soon starts to emerge. I'll look at them and go, how comes there's only one fire engine out there now? Who took that? Killing firefighters, putting us at risk, putting our communities at risk. The answer, a white British politician took that fire engine. They go, guys, who stole your pension, the pension you've paid into your whole career, that means you now face the risk of getting sacked simply for the crime of getting older? A white British politician. Who throws your pay, guys? That has created the disgusting situation where firefighters, people who run into fires to save people, having to get credit card after credit card just to pay the rent and keep a roof over their head. White British politicians. The pattern is clear. White British politicians have done us and our families more harm than any migrant ever has, or would ever wish to, for that matter. They're the people we need to be directing our anger at. They're the people we need to be taking the fight to, and we can only do that when we're united. We're not divided by hate. That is when we're strong. Now, we need to take the initiative, we need to take the argument away from the racists, we need to convince our friends, our families, our colleagues not to be fooled by these tactics. I was listening to a GMB union rep last week, in fact, and she was telling us a story. She was reporting to us about the way that ASOS are treating their mainly migrant workforce in their factory in Barnsley. I don't know if you've heard the story. It is disgusting. It makes your stomach turn when you hear the reports. Not just in terms of conditions, but in terms of pay as well. Mainly migrant workforce. Now the far right, they'll hijack that and they'll say, see, we told you, this is only happening because of this swarm of migrants coming over, you know, undercutting our conditions, this swarm of migrants, this oversupply of labour. Guys, it's crap. Take it from a trade unionist. I'll tell you the reason it's happening, and it's simple. It's because we've got the worst workers' rights and some of the worst trade union restrictions in the Western world. That's why it's happening. And who imposed that on us? White British politicians. They are the issues we need to be tackling together, and that will better the lot for everyone. They don't care what workers they exploit. They don't care where we come from, what bit of rock we were born on. They just want to exploit us, and they'll keep getting away with that for as long as we're divided. So I'll leave you on this, guys. All that said, we can't ignore the fact, we can't be blind to the fact that the racist few right now, they do feel like they're gaining momentum on the back of things like the Trump win. They do feel like they've got the wind in their sails, and their intention is to ride that wind right into the heart of our communities and spread their poison. We cannot let that happen, and events like tonight are the perfect response. The response to the disgusting incidents we've seen in this town. And I tell you what events like tonight do, and the great work organisations like Stand Up to Racism do, is they send a message. They send a message to the racists. This is not their community, this is our community. We will not allow racism and hate into our community. We will not allow the racists to get a foothold and spread their poison in our community. And I tell you what, it sends an even stronger message than that, and that strong message is to the refugees, and it's to migrant workers, and that is, don't listen to the media, don't listen to these racist, idiotic few. You are absolutely welcome in our town, and we will carry on doing everything we can to keep it that way. We will stand up, it's in the title, we will stand up, we will oppose racism, and we will kick it out of our town, and we'll do it together. Thank you.